All right, it's not often that you get the roster moves before you get the injury designations and that they're less than 10 minutes apart and that you have to scrap a video that you were in the process of uploading because you saw that the injury report and the injury designations are out. So let's get straight into this. Here are the Detroit Lions injury designations for the Week 13 matchup. Carlton Davis is out. Taylor Decker is out. David Montgomery is out. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is out as well. Now, what about roster moves? We're going to get the 2-for-1 here. And the roster moves, it's all going to make sense in a minute. Khalif Raymond has been placed on injured reserve. The Detroit Lions actually signed Maurice Alexander and David Long from the practice squad to the active roster. If you guys remember, we had a spot due to Khalif going on IR and us removing or waiving James Houston yesterday. We also elevated offensive lineman Jamarco Jones from the practice squad to the active inactive list. And I kind of knew that this was going to be the case because like I said, usually you get the injury designations on Friday at 4, then you get the roster moves on Saturday at 4. And once I saw that Jamarco Jones was going to be elevated, don't forget when Taylor Decker missed that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, then Jamarco, I believe it was Jacksonville, Jamarco was elevated. Usually we'll see something, maybe Coyote will come in depending on where the placement needs to be. But once I saw that, I knew that Taylor Decker was out, even though I had seen the roster moves before the injury designation. So how does this make you feel? Are you Carlton Davis, man? Kind of knew it was going to be that way because Dan Campbell did not seem very confident that he was going to play. Him, Taylor, nor Khalif. There was zero faith. Like it was kind of shaky, man, when Dan was Daniel, I'm sure that's his name, when Dan Campbell was in front of the media Monday after the game. So how does this make me feel? I mean, the Bears defensive line ain't no joke. That's the strong suit of their team. It's not a joke. And Jared Goff, I expect him to be under a lot of pressure tomorrow. He's going to be he might even be under some duress. So very similar to how the Jacksonville Jaguars, how it was with Kayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen and those guys on that defensive line, we can game plan. We blew them out. I don't think we're going to blow the Bears out like that. But I think that although the offensive line, we saw it's going to be better than that initial time. Remember that initial time because this is the third kind of game that the third time that Taylor has missed a game. And the first time was tough, man. Then it was like, man, this is what it looks like with no Taylor. And then it was the second time where they played a lot better. And then the third time, I expect it to be even better than it was last time. So they're up against a force in that defensive line, but I'm sure Ben Johnson will scheme around that and will create opportunity, quick passes from Jared Goff for him to get rid of the ball, to keep that defensive line off his back, because that's one thing we can't. I don't want Jared Goff to get sacked 3 times again against a defensive line like that. So not really tripping. Taylor Decker, we in this thing for the long haul. Like Dan Campbell told David Montgomery, bigger fish to fry after he pulled him out of the game on Sunday. Now, as far as David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm not bothered by this at all. I'm sure that these guys know that they can play. They know if they can play. They know everything about their body. They've talked to the coaches. I trust the coaching staff. It's unfortunate that Khalif Raymond will not be part of this, but at least he can come back to, during the playoffs. I think the earliest we get him back, honestly, depending on the severity of his injury and how long his 21-day window he's on that practice opening, I think we don't see him until our first game in the playoffs. So we're talking about a divisional round when we hang on to get this 1 seed. Notice I'm speaking in definitives because we are going to do that. So just want to let you guys know that. Also, real brief housekeeping stuff. I finally got a mailing address, so it is in the description. It will be in the description of every video from now going forward. A lot of people have been asking, hey, Derek, I want to send you stuff. And I'm like, let me get a mailbox. So I got one. You should see it in the description. It does take packages and letters and whatever else you want to, it feels weird for me just talking about it. But I guess when you're in this business, man, it's something you eventually have to do. You know what I mean? So if you want to know any information, there it is. You ever want to send me something or whatever, you don't even have to ask. You can just put it and ship it off to that location. I'll probably stop and pick it up once a week. We will be on tomorrow doing a watch party for the game. And then we'll have a brief post-game show Probably won't take any phone calls. We'll just get on, do what we usually do, so I can let you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And then we all prep and sit back and get ready to watch those Dolphins face the Green Bay Packers, in which we're going to need a Dolphins win to help us out. Just a little bit of pressure off our back. Those Minnesota Vikings that we're looking at first in the division, but those Philadelphia Eagles. And last but not least, we are going to be doing the watch parties on Sunday since the Detroit Lions don't play. We're going to do a watch party. The games that I have in my area, I have the first game is the Minnesota Vikings against the Arizona Cardinals. That is the early game. Directly after that, I've got the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to do watch parties for both those games since the Detroit Lions will be off. And going forward for the month of November, when the Detroit Lions are off and they have a game that affects the Detroit Lions in my area, we'll do that again. So, for instance, the Lions play on Thursday, the 5th of December. So that means that Sunday, the 8th, will be available. I'll see what they have in my area. And whether it's an AFC team versus an NFC, as long as it's not two AFC teams, then we'll do them. So if it's a game, if it's like the Bears and somebody that doesn't matter, then we're not going to do it. But if it's like the Eagles, the Vikings, somebody who actually is threatening the Detroit Lions, we will live stream those games. And we'll do that during the month of December, every year that we're doing this, even if they're Saturday games, because this is the home stretch, man. We've done this every year. Year one was when the Seattle Seahawks needed to lose to the Rams, and then year two was when the Green Bay Packers went and wind up, if they won in Levi, then they came to us for the NFC title game. So we're going to keep that up, man, and bring something new to the channel. It won't be a permanent thing. Like, we won't be doing it every game and stuff like that. But during the month of December going on from now, if it affects the Detroit Lions, then we'll do it. Even if they're 1-6 or 1-12, man, we still, if the Lions got a chance to make the playoffs, we gonna do this. All right. So this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You can be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.